Hi, and welcome to this blog session on the concept of vital essence. Today, as a Christian educator, we face a reality in which the call that God has placed upon our life to be within the educational field and possibly within a particular educational context in regard to a geographic situation, an age group, a type of student, is under constant threat and influence by other factors that seek to limit its impact, seek to dry the teacher up, sap a teacher's confidence, and prevent the transformation that God wants us to achieve in the classroom for Him from actually taking place. How can we find that place today to keep sustaining that passion? You know, we are called in Matthew chapter 5 verses 14 and 16 to be a light to the world. I like the metaphor myself of a lighthouse. You know, we've got this light that God's given us. We're not supposed to keep it hidden. We're supposed to shine it out into the world. We're supposed to shine it out intentionally and make a real difference so that everybody can see it. As verse 16 says, shine it in a way before all men that they may see your good works and give glory to the Father in heaven. So how do we sustain the passion? How do we sustain the reality of being able to do that in the 21st century as Christian educators? One thing that we have looked at is the concept of passionate creed. It's a concept developed by Vicky Lebowski, and it's an excellent idea. The idea that alert novice educators who are in connection with who they are develop a strong understanding of what drives them in the educational context, and they are able to rely on this, feedback of this for self-resilience, for self-efficacy, to keep that passion going, to keep that focus going in the classroom, and to use it as a prism, to use it as a plumb line through which to judge and which to engage the interactions that come, the influences that come, and reshape them to effectively meet the needs of their classroom. With the metaphor of the lighthouse that Jesus presents us, and being a lighthouse in the classroom, I want to take this a step further beyond just a creed that we understand about our inner self, but I want to call it understanding vital essence. This kind of idea that if we understand our vital essence as teachers, we're able to unlock the DNA of a transformative teacher that is unique, that is called by God, that is part of a self that is sculpted in the image of God. And this is intentional, this is unique, and this is incredibly powerful. The term in Māori for this would be whakahua Māori. So, vital essence. The first term, vital, refers to that concept of it's the seat or the source of life. That we need to find out what are the key things that are vital, that are the source of our life, that are our wairoa. Okay? Not just what is our inner self made up of, but what are the particular influential factors within that drive it. What, for example, is the critical, important factors that drive your decision making? What are the sources and things that shape your well-being? What are the sources and things that shape your existence, your concept of truth, where you get your energy from, where your passion comes from? Therefore, what are the sources that sustain you? What are the things you go back to and connect to hold you up, to go back to keep you going? If we understand these things, these vital things about our inner self, about our source of energy, they give us a real vitality. And that vitality we can bring forth into the classroom, and through that vitality we can be transformative. So it's a vitality that doesn't bring us life, but it also brings life to others in the way that it transforms the way we teach. It turns us into a teacher that won't look at the world the same way again. And therefore, through the way we teach, students won't look at the world the same way again. They will connect to their subject like we connect to our subject in a completely new way. They will engage with ideas. They will critically think. And that will empower them, and it will change them, just as it has empowered us, and it changes us constantly. The second term of the phrase is essence, and essence is really important. The term creed I love, but it refers to something that we write, something that we create, or perhaps something that is written for us if you take that line. I love the term essence because actually to me what it refers to is something we are born with. It's something that was created as part of us. If we strip away everything, the mind, the body, and we come into that soul, that spiritual area, you find it at the core of you, the heart of you. It's the essence of who you are. It's who you were created to be. It's always been a part of you. It will always be a part of you. You know, the term essence basically means, it's not something that we can put there. From a Christian perspective, that's vitally important, because we would look at it and say it's actually connecting with the reality of and understanding of what God has actually put there, and what that means for us, how that should shape us, how that should empower us, how that should drive us. However, it is something that we can tune. It is something that we can shape. It is something that we can intentionally intensify. It is something we can share. It is something that we can seek to understand. And it is something we can seek to connect to, and then connect to others. This Māori concept of Wairoa, of life force, is a wonderful verbal metaphor picture of what this actually means. The idea of Māori and the land in particular, and how they connect to that life force, and it strengthens them, it gives them a sense of history, it gives them a sense of connection, and they can understand other people better, and they can learn from other people too when they understand where their Wairoa is connected to in terms of the land. So that's why mihi and whakapapa, etc. are so important within Māori culture. So basically, the whole idea of essence is that it gives a real basic understanding of the invariable nature of who we are. It's very holistic, it's very spiritual, it considers the whole order of a person, the mental, the emotional and physical, and at the centre of that, I believe, is the spiritual, something that a lot of other models and a lot of other approaches to connecting to your inner self either marginalise, leave out, but don't have at the centre there. That term essence also refers to that it should be something that permeates all who we are and all who we come into contact to. I love a Māori whakatauki, Rurira tai tea kia tuko tai kaka anake, which basically means when you remove the sapwood, so when you remove the outer layers, the protective layers, you get to the real heart wood, you get to the real essence of the tree. And that's what, discovering one's vital essence is. It's about peeling away the sapwood and getting to the real essence, the heartwood of the tree that the life force goes through, that sustains it, that's harder, that's stronger, that keeps it there. And that if you lose that heartwood, you lose the tree. The sapwood can get damaged, it can get those dents in, it can leak a bit, the bark can come off, etc. But there's the damage into the heartwood that's serious. So in a sense, what the Whakatauki is saying, let's get rid of the things that make us afraid. Let's get rid of the things that hold us back, that influence the sapwood, that probably maybe in some senses put bark and put sapwood around us that seeks to protect us, but at the same time restricts our true calling, restricts the true beauty and expression of the heartwood. So let's connect to that vital, let's connect to that essence, and let's become transformative. Let's develop and reflect who God wants us to be. Let's get to the fact that our vital essence is something we need to explore as teachers, not only for ourselves in regard to giving us the energy and the sustaining power to continue on, but because it transforms us. It has the ability to transform the way we look at the education process, how we can intentionally engage with it, and therefore move beyond that into a scope of being able to intentionally engage and transform, change, challenge, empower the students, contexts, processes, places, policies that we come into contact with. And from a Christian education perspective, it's this idea of being the vital essence flowing through that lighthouse out into those contexts, influenced, empowered by the call that God's put on your life, that He can shine through you in those situations, that you've listened to that call, you understand that call, you apply that call to all that you do. You are unique within that calling, and you will be placed within those contexts that you're called to teach in, with those students you're called to teach with, and you will make a real difference, both in the now for the student, but most importantly within the eternal perspective. So what I encourage you to do is seek your vital essence, find out about it, engage with it, understand it, be encouraged by it, be driven by it, be transformed by it, and apply it in everything you do as an educator. Over and out.